the most surreal moment for me, like the moment where I was like, oh my God, this is a pedal that's real, was seeing Emily Harpist's demo. That was what made it real for me. It was an incredible demo, but like I saw thousands of Habit built on a shelf and I was like, oh, that's neat, but that's just a thing. And then all of a sudden I see her playing it and I'm like, oh my God, we made a pedal.
We made a pedal together.
We did.
Called Habit. You engineered it. I came with a concept.
One of the trickiest parts, I think this is probably true with a lot of DSP, is just getting the effect started properly. Like getting audio to go in, the thing happens, and then audio comes out.
Let me try, I have a second adapter.
Usually we don't know what's happening. Like we're given the pedal and we're like, there's no manual, there's no explanation of the features, and we're twiddling and figuring out, and we're like, oh, okay. And so we have to decide, is that a feature or a bug or what's happening?
Is expression working? Are the dip switches working? Are the extremes of each knob working? So it's pretty tedious.
Beta testing started with tonal recall.
We do the same thing over here. There's obviously something going on. These glasses. I mean, these are bug finders. Okay, this time I mean, Charlie will fix, like, say, a tap tempo LED and how it interacts with something. And we know that it could affect something inside of that. But we've been surprised before where it just affects some rando thing out in space. So we have to test it all.
Is dry kill on?
It's such a winding path to finish something like this. And often what you spend a lot of time working on is small things.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, when you're programming, this is like really very much the truth, but to like make something new, you have to exhaustively define it. Like every little detail has to be explicitly defined. I definitely do like working from a modular approach in code, trying to have bits and pieces that can stack into each other in a way that makes us some whole that's more than its parts. Like you'll come up with a delay, and be like, that's fun, and you'll come up with a memory system, and you're like, that's fun, but then you put them together and it's like, whoa, there's so much more here. Yeah! Your ideas and your pitches start kind of like with the whole pedal in mind, or like a workflow that you want to achieve with the final product, and then we work backwards. Like, what do we need to get that whole thing to happen?
It seemed like the process for Habit was learning the pedal, and the pedal was evolving as we were doing it. It wasn't like, this is a delay or something where you have some idea of how it should work.
Whenever you're listening back to something that you've played, I find it's just different from what I expected, what I thought I was doing. Like, I love that feeling of making sounds that sound like someone else did them. It's like a pedal that gives you that. I think almost everyone that makes sounds is better than they think. So if you're not satisfying your intent, you're not going to feel good about it. And so it's nice that this pedal just collects those sounds for you and gives you the opportunity to have them float back and just be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, it gives you tools to alter that stuff and become satisfied if you're not. But in a way, it's also kind of like implicitly giving you permission to just take it in for what it is. It's what you played 2 minutes ago. I hope you like it.
For me, like at the beginning, knobs will give us the reins. So we'll just say like, step one, just play around. And that's when I get lost in the pedal.
Working nicely.
Like once you're in the thick of beta testing, it's, I don't know, it's kind of pen to paper, go through all the steps and make sure it's doing what it's supposed to. But anytime there's a new firmware, you kind of have to start from square one.
Everything is interlinked and related. So if you think about everything you need to test, you have to do the whole process every time one little piece of it is tweaked.
Oh, for God's sake.
Prince Charles. Prince Charles, yeah.
Do we have a sword? This could be a beta team's gripes with Charlie hour.
Do you remember your most triumphant day on this project?
I want to say it was when the systems first came together. Like the first time we heard the memory system play into the delay system, and it did have it. And it was like poppy, and not all the features were there, but it was like you could see it for the first time. It was like, that was probably the most triumphant. Like getting to be like, guys, I finally have it kind of working.